A warm good evening and welcome to all the dignitaries and the participants from different parts of the world. And a warm welcome to the international webinar series on World Interfaith Harmony Week. We have a 7-day webinar series on 9 major religions and their concepts of love, truth, justice, equality, and fraternity, and the role they play in promoting peace and harmony in the world. World Interfaith Harmony Week is an annual event observed during the first week of February after UN General Assembly designed in 2010. The General Assembly of United Nations pointed out that mutual understanding and interreligious dialogue constitute important dimensions of a culture of peace and establish World Interfaith Harmony Week on a way to promote harmony between all people regardless of faith and culture. Chavra Cultural Center is an initiative of CMI congregation to promote peace and harmony in the world through art and cultural interactions. We are organizing this webinar to promote peace and harmony in the world. And the UN General Assembly aims at to promote culture of peace and non-violence in the world. We have specific objectives for this 7-day webinars. The number one, we want to enhance religious tolerance and promote peaceful coexistence. Number two, to know each religion and its varied customs and culture. Number three, inculcate the spiritual values of all religions in students and youth. Number four, develop the attitude of mutual respect and appreciation. Number five, appreciate the differences without giving up our uniqueness of each religion. As I have told you, each religion's concept of social values and spiritual values are being discussed in this platform. And that is done by the eminent personalities from different parts of the world. And we have benedictory address by His Excellency Bishop Brian Farrell, the Secretary Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity, Vatican, Rome. And today's webinar is being inaugurated by Swami Sadashivananda, the President, WFARC, World Fellowship of Interreligious Councils. And our guest of honor for tomorrow and the other days, Dr. Shlomo Alon, Senior Lecturer, Hebrew University, Jerusalem. Most Venerable Pasura Dandamano, Chief International Relations, Wat Phra Dhammakia Temple, Bahrain. Then a renowned singer from Kuwait, Sri Mubarak Al-Rashid. You might have heard of him. He will sing in Malayalam and in Hindi also, not only in Arabic. Mubarak Al-Rashid. And we have representatives from all religious groups. And in 7 days, we have a beautiful recollection of the way we supposed to foster the concept of peace and harmony among us. Chavara Culture Center used to celebrate the cultural and spiritual festivals of each religion. The culture, each Denny sir, please mute. Amrin Muhammad, please mute. Thank you. I'm sorry. Chavara Culture Center, we used to celebrate every year all religious and cultural festivals like Diwali, the month of Ramayana, Eid al-Fitr, Christmas, Easter, the birthday of Guru Nanak, and all other cultural festivals, together with all religious members, irrespective of caste, creed, and language, and even politics. So that is to promote social integration and peace and harmony in the society. This webinar will give e-certificate to the participants, and the Google form will be given you in the chat box in between this webinar. And I would like to welcome today's chief guest. As I have mentioned, we have a benedictory address, a video address by His Excellency Bishop Brian Farrell. He is a secretary of Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity and a special authority authorized by Vatican to have a dialogue with Judaism. And in his absence, we welcome His Excellency Bishop Brian Farrell. And as I told you, Swami Sadashivananda, the president of WFARC, will inaugurate today's webinar. And as all of you know, Swami Sadashivananda is a renowned preacher and a philosopher and a well-known writer and author. After his philosophy, he has diploma in Gandhian thoughts and diploma in interreligious dialogue, and he is still pursuing his PhD. And he was the president of Swami Vivekananda Sevashram, Karumathur, Madurai, and he has presented papers in different countries, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Sri Lanka, and so many other countries, and attended so many interreligious webinars and seminars in different nationalities. And I'm really happy to welcome Swami Sadashivananda to inaugurate this session. Swamiji, most welcome to this webinar. In the first day itself, I am really happy to see you. Though I know that you are not physically well, but you are really vibrant, I feel. So thank you, Swamiji, for being with us today. And most welcome, once again, most welcome. In the webinar, you cannot see the clapping. Anyway, I'll clap for you. And I'm really happy to welcome Dr. P. Nagaraj, Associate Professor and HOD, Department of English and Foreign Language, Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore. And he is not only a professor of English and a mentor of thousands of students. And I'm really happy, Dr. P. Nagaraj, who is coordinating so many national, international seminars, and even now webinars in virtual form and physical form for hundreds of students of not only in our nation and outside the nation. He's a well-known professor in India and abroad. Most welcome, Dr. P. Nagaraj, Associate Professor and HOD, who is delivering keynote address today. Nagaraj sir, most welcome. And I'm happy to welcome Dr. S.V. Karthinga, who is moderating the panel discussion today. He is Assistant Professor of Department of English, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. And she is a passionate teacher and a beloved teacher of her students. I know that. So most welcome, Dr. S.V. Karthinga, Assistant Professor, Department of English, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. Dr. Karthinga, can you hear me? I hope you are just listening to me. Thank you so much. And our panelists, Mr. Saradha Raman, Ms. Tinsa Juby Matthew, Ms. Graciana Karthins, Ms. K. Priyadarshini, Ms. Pavitra Ji, all are from the Department of English, CSH, SRM, IST. And I'm really happy to welcome all the participants from different parts of this world. And Chabra Culture Center, Delhi is organizing this webinar in association with Bristol Multi-Faith Forum, UK. And we have members from the Multi-Faith Forum, UK today in this webinar. And St. Stephen's College, Delhi, Jesus and Mary College, Delhi, St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, Sacred College, Tevara, Kerala, Providence Women's College, Calicut, Kerala, Christ College of Science and Management, Malur, Bangalore, and Vimala College, Thrissur, Kerala. And I'm really happy to welcome all the principals of these colleges and Councillor Tom Aditya, the first South Indian Councillor in Bristol, UK. And he's also attending this webinar, I know that. And he's coordinating the Bristol Multi-Faith Forum, and he's the president of that Multi-Faith Forum. And Dr. John Verghese, Principal, St. Stephen's College, Dr. Sandra Joseph, Principal, Jesus and Mary College, Delhi, and Father Dr. Tommy Nishant is the Principal, St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna. His students are attending this webinar. And Dr. John CMI, Principal, Sacred Heart College, Tevara, and Dr. Sister Jacina Joseph, Providence Women's College, Calicut, Kerala, and their children also are attending today's webinar. Reverend Father Jins George CMI, Principal, Christ College of Science and Management, Malur, Bangalore, and Father Jins students also are attending today. And Dr. Sister Beena Jo CMC, Principal, Vimala College, Thrissur, Kerala, and the coordinators from Bangalore, Mrs. Margaret Ribello, the Secretary, WFARC, and Sri Soman Baby, Associate. And he's the coordinator of WFARC Bahrain, and a well-known media person in Bahrain. And everybody knows him very well. Soman Baby, sir, thank you so much for your vibrant presence here. And Sri Sunil P. Anthony, coordinator, WFARC Kuwait. Reverend Father Anto Kanjurutangal, CMI, Prefect, CMI Bhavan, New Delhi, and Reverend Father Thomas Kollikolivil, CMI, Director Seva, Regional Office, New Delhi, and all the participants, students and well-wishers from different parts of this world, you are most welcome. And I can see representatives of our General Council, Father Biju Vadakel, and I know that the chairman of Chabra Culture Center, Father Martin Mallat, is also present here. And I really thank you, everyone who is attending this webinar today. And once again, welcoming you to this wonderful international webinar series of 7 days. I welcome all of you to join us in 7 days, and we will have, and we can just join our hands together for a better world. And I know that this will result in such a wonderful change in the heart of the young people. And such a sincerity we are organizing this program. So once again, most welcome to this webinar series. Thank you so much. I'm just handing over the mic to our Master of Ceremony, Sharon Samson, who is a PhD scholar in English and student of Nagaraj sir also. And not only Nagaraj sir, Dr. Karthika Adi. Thank you, Mr. Sharon, for your wonderful mastery of ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Acha, for the heartwarming welcome note. So we are now into the webinar, and we have the benedictory address by His Excellency Bishop Brain Farewell, Secretary, Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity in Rome, and he is also the Vice President of the Holy See's Commission for Religious Relations with Judaism. So he has sent us his greetings and blessings for the 7-day international webinar. So over to the video of His Excellency Bishop.
We have a small prayer, a Christian prayer before this.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our Father, hear us from heaven, forgive our sins, we pray. Hear our song as it rises to heaven. May your glory fill the earth as the waters cover the sea. See our hearts and remove anything that is standing in the way of coming to you today. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our Father, hear us from heaven, forgive our sins, we pray. Listen, and though we are few, we're surrounded by many who have crossed that river before. And this is the song we'll be singing forever. Holy is the Lord. Holy is the Lord. Holy is the Lord. Holy is the Lord.
So now we will have the bishop's note.
On behalf of the Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity, I am very happy to send greetings to the Chavara Cultural Center in Delhi. Now that you are beginning a week of ecumenical and interfaith conversations, it is always a pleasure to know that there are so many people interested in changing the way religious people interact with each other. So I wish you every blessing and every success as you discuss this world of ours in which religious people have so much to offer, but that being together and working together and walking together, they can do it so much better. So best wishes to all of you. Thanks to the Chavara Cultural Center for organizing this event, and may God bless you each day of this week.
Thank you, dear Bishop, for your message, wishes, and blessings to open this 7-day international webinar. Chavra Cultural Center, Delhi takes immense pleasure in thanking you. Next, I would like to introduce our very own Swami Sadasivananda, who will be giving us the inaugural address. He is the president of WFIRC, World Fellowship of Interreligious Council. He is also the president of Swami Vivekananda Seva Ashram, Madurai. He holds a master's degree in philosophy and diploma in Gandhian thought. Swami is currently pursuing his doctorate in interreligious dialogue. He has presented many papers on interreligious dialogues in various countries. May I also add that Swamiji has always been with us in adding flavor to all our interreligious activities that we have conducted so far. We are honored and humbled by your presence at this event too. Now, we will have a short video representing the Hindu religion, and after which Swamiji would address the gathering. I now invite Swami Sadasivananda to give the inaugural address. Welcome, Swami.
Sisters and brothers who are attending this webinar, also I thank Father Robi for organizing this webinar with his efforts. And I thanks to all the workers who are behind these efforts. Now I am having enough chance to introduce you a few points about the Hindu Dharma. Sisters and brothers, the word Hindu does not have the idea of Hinduism, since Ism is a closed book. It is an experience of individual man, but whereas in Hindu Dharma, in various periods, various people have come and they processed the religion. The word Hindu does not denote a particular religion. It has 9 religions. Saivam, having Shiva as God, Vishnu's, having Vishnu as God, Shaktam, having Mother as God, fourth one is Vinayaka, Surya. All these Vedic religions are in this Hinduism. Also there is Buddhism.
219.
Hello.
Buddhism,
Excuse me.
Jainism, and Sikhism. So totally we are having 9 religions in Hindu Dharma. the first 6 religions are esoteric religions. The last 3, Buddhism, Sikhism, and Jainism, are all exoteric religions. These religions are all accepting the 4 Vedas. Some are rejecting the Vedas. So the word Hindu itself is parliament of religions. So it has given freedom of thought and freedom of worship to the devotees, and allowing the individuals to develop himself and merging with God. That's why we call not as Hinduism, but as Hindutva religion. Hindutvam, the essence of religion is Hindutva. This religion has no date of birth, no founder. It is naturally developed one. So it is called as Sanatana Hindu Dharmam. It is an eternal religion. It's not made by individuals or any persons. Apaursheya. It is not made out of manpower, individual manpower. We can see the change and continuity in these religions. There are people having continuity in this religion. At the same time, new people comes and changes the religion. So change and continuity we can see in this religion. The latest change is Swami Vivekananda, his Guru Sri Ramakrishna, and Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi. The latest people who gave a new shape to this religion is these 3 people: Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Sarada Devi, Swami Vivekananda. They gave a new shape to this religion. We are insisting in this religion 4 Purusharthas. They are Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Dharma means code of conduct, rules. Then Artha means economic point. How to use the economics in our life, how to handle the economics in our life. Then Kama, what we desire in this world is to be achieved how. Then ultimate goal in our life is to worship God and merging with God. That is the moksha. So Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. These 4 Purusharthas are a frame for Hindu personal life. Then 4 ashrams. Individuals are given 4 ashrams. Brahmacharya life. Before the married life is called as Brahmacharya life. Then married life. Then retirement life. Last is sannyasa life. So individually, slowly, step by step, an individual develops into spiritual way of life. Ultimately, he is contributing his entire life as a sannyasi to the God. It is for family man. At the same time, for sannyasis, brahmacharya to sannyasa. Only 2 ashram is given to the sannyasi's life. They are having the goal of Atmano Mochartam Jagat Hidayacha. Atmano Mochartam means personal self salvation. Atmano Mochartam. Then Jagat Hidayacha, serving the fellow beings, is called as Jagat Hidayacha. It is the motto of Sri Ramakrishna Mission, also for entire Hindu community. So we are allowing our devotees to have these 2 goals, twin goal, Atmano Mochartam, Jagat Hidayacha. The 4th one is we are giving the method to achieve the goal in our life is the method is 4 yogas. They are Jnana Yogam, Raja Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, and Karma Yogam. Last is Karma Yogam, service to fellow beings. The remaining three, Jnana Yogam, Raja Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, is to develop our body, mind, and intellect. It gives us to enrich our body, mind, and intellect. By that, we are developing our personality. The fourth one is Karma Yogam, to serve the fellow beings is our goal. So strength and service is the goal of human life. One side, we have to develop our strength. Another side, as an outlet, we have to serve the society. By serving the society, we are getting our own salvation. But the way of happiness is helping others. The way to be happy is making others happy, is the science behind this goal. So these four yogas are method. These four yogas can be applied in all religions. It is not for Hindus alone. Any religion can follow these yogas. Nowadays, the International Yoga year is celebrating the central government. So this is belongs to the entire universe. It belongs to the entire humanity. In Vedas, 2 points are stressed: Brahmam, Satyam, Jagat, Mithya. Satyam means it is original gold, a golden biscuit. Mithya means a golden shower, a jewel. Only the difference in Rubam and Namam. What is this gold? Gold is God, Satyam. Satyam will not change. It always, in past, present, future, in all these periods, Satyam will be there. Whereas the jewel, it is, Rupa is changed. This world is like that. That's why in Vedic hymn, Om Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnam Udachyade, Purnasya Purnamataya, Purnameva Avasishyade. From God, this world has come. We also have come. After coming from God, only the God is there because He is infinite. If you take anything from infinite, it will not reduce. If you multiply the infinite, it will not increase. So Purnam means infinite. It is always a particular quantity. We cannot change it. That is called as Puranam. Om Purnamada. So we are from God. So we are all children of God. So we are having a responsibility of sharing and caring. The way to be happy is making others happy, is the solution given by the Vedas. Swami Vivekananda in 1893 in Chicago, he has spoken 8 speeches. 6 speeches are available in book form. Among the 6, there is one paper called Hinduism. In that he has mentioned one particular universal religion. What is universal religion? It is not a new religion. A universal religion is sum total of all religions, all the Hindu religions, Islam, Christianity, and Jews, Judaism. If you put all these religions, we can leave place to the new religions also. Like that, scripture also we are in need. How to make a universal scripture? We want to lead the mankind to the place where there is neither the Vedas, nor the Bible, nor the Quran. Yet this has to be done by harmonizing the Vedas, the Bible, and the Quran. The universal religion is mankind ought to be taught that religions are but the varied expressions of the religion, capital letter, the religion, which is oneness, so that each may choose the path that suits him best, is the idea given by Swami Vivekananda. The latest message given by Hindu Dharma by Swami Vivekananda is the universal religion. The world religions have the responsibility to evolve a universal religion. Honestly, we have to come together, we have to sit together, we have to evolve a universal religion, we have to give to this world a way of life to the entire mankind. This is the way how Hindu Dharma is working for promoting peace and harmony in this world. We are avoiding friction by avoiding evangelization, the conversion. Hindu Dharma does not promote religious conversion because it leads to competition and tension. So, in order to avoid the competition and tension, we don't indulge in religious conversions. We want to convert the mind, not the physical religions. So, we are in this way promoting peace and harmony in this world. Swami Vivekananda says, be gods and help others to become God. It's the message given by him. So I request all the world religious people, let us become gods and help others to become God. So sharing and caring should be our goal. Let us make this world as a family. One of our Hindu Dharma's concept is Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. The entire world is a family of God. So we are all sisters and brothers. We are having a binding relationship through God. So spiritually we are all binding. So sisters and brothers, with this quotation of be gods and help others to become God, I conclude my inaugural address. Thanking you.
Thank you, Swamiji, for giving us a very clear outlook into the ideologies of religions, especially Hinduism, also giving a clarion call to unite together. Thank you, Swamiji. At this moment, I would like to inform you that this webinar is being live streamed in YouTube, and the link is also posted in the chat box for the YouTube channel of Chavra Cultural Center, Delhi, UinD Foundation. So the link is available. Those who are not able to join the webinar, you can also watch it in our YouTube channel. It is my proud privilege to introduce the keynote speaker of the day, Dr. P. Nagaraj, Associate Professor and Head, Department of English and Foreign Languages, Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore. Dr. Nagaraj holds a doctorate in English, Masters in English Language and Literature, Mass Communication and Journalism, and Linguistics. He also holds an MBA in Human Resource. He has produced many PhDs and MPhil under his guidance. As a matter of fact, it would not be out of place if I address him as Guru, not only to myself, but also to the moderator of this panel discussion, an expert academician who encourages young minds on cognitive thinking and its related areas, an advisor, guide, friend, and the list goes on. Sir, we are honored by your presence and inviting you to deliver the keynote address. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, very good evening. I hope it is not a keynote address because The keynote address has already been given by Swamiji. Anyhow, from the academic point of view, I would like to give my observation on this wonderful webinar series. At the outset, I am really thankful to Dr. Robbie Kanna Chitra, the Director, CMI, New Delhi, and Swamiji, and all the other members present over here. And my special greetings to my scholars, Dr. Sharon and Dr. Kartika. So my scholars are here. And when Professor Ruby sir had asked me to give a talk on the web seminar on the peace and harmony, I was just glancing through the objectives of this particular seminar. And I'm really glad to see that the objectives are very, very serious in nature. And, it holds a lot of relevance to the current context. When I say lot of relevance to the current context, I could make some few observations on the few words being used in the objectives. The highlighting words here are tolerance, peace, coexistence, the spiritual values, culture, then mutual respect, then uniqueness of the religious faith, and some of the ideologies this web series holds are social integration, peace, harmony, and society. So when I looked out for the specific objectives, I could not come out with the specific objectives. Rather, the web series holds a very complex understanding, and every vocabulary stressed over here holds a lot of a series of deliberations. Such a serious perspectives, Father Ruby had taken up this venture of web series. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 years back, we would not have ever thought that we would be deliberating on the machine learning experience of such nature. And such is the reality today. When I say the reality, all the virtual, what are all we had considered as real has become virtual. And what all had been, we were experiencing as real has become virtual in the current context. So my thought process goes like this. When I worked on the ideology of Father Ruby on the web series, some of the terms like culture, the tradition, the belief systems, the customs, the perceptions, and so much we have been carrying it out down the ages. So these richness of the cult, which we have been carrying it out down the ages, have been replaced by few modern words. I look at from the academician and the language point of view, and I could see that rich words like the tradition, the culture, the belief system, what is that? No, we were being carrying it out for generations together, had been replaced by few materialistic word, particularly pertaining to the pandemic context, particularly pertaining to the virality of the context, where these words have become so much so familiar. Whether you are learned or you're not unlearned, the words like pandemic, epidemic, machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotics, virtuality, abstract. So all these words that are not humanistic had become humane in the context of virality. So the web series holds a lot of relevance today. Might be Father Ruby might be having a thought process that why the human intelligence is going in the way in a way by which we should not. The whole of the human intelligence should not. So having this in mind, particularly pertaining to the current context of the virality, where when the whole of the human evolution down ages were carrying rich culture, rich tradition, rich society, we all had been belonging to. So all these sense of belongingness have been questioned by this so-called the virality age, where when I say the virality of the age accounts for more number of machine like learning experience. So whole of the human intelligence had become a machine like intelligence, and whole of the human intelligence experience had become an experience of an experience of a machine like experience. So there is hardly you could understand or experience the humanness or the humane quality of nature, particularly referring to the context of virality. I might be hard in my statement, ladies and gentlemen, when I pronounce this word. First time in the human evolution, ladies and gentlemen, first time in the human evolution, the word God is being replaced by the word virus. I might be very critical in my observation, but this is the hardest of the hardest reality, that all the systems, all the faith, all the religious understanding that no, we have been carrying it out down ages have been challenged by this pandemic context. For the first time, no, we had not feared God, but then we feared virus, and that is the hardest truth that no, we all had to address in the web forum of where when all the religious leaders come together and promote peace, harmony, and go back and come and bring back the old tradition and culture that we have been practicing for so many years. So, what is the nature and living style that we are undergoing at present with the virality of the context? Is that not at all humanistic enough? We are all half nations. We all have become biocomputers. We all have become bio, and the reliability of the machine, the reliability of orienting ourselves through the medium of machine has become the truth. And what is real had become unreal. And what is unreal has become real. And we from the academic forum, we from the academicians, we encourage, we motivate virtual reality as reality and not reality as a virtual. And what happens in the pandemic context, what happens in the virality or the demonic context is that we fear human rather than the humanity. When I say we fear human, human is reality and the humanity is abstract. In the pandemic context, we do not want to communicate to the other. We don't encourage the other. We don't want to negotiate. We don't want to live together. We don't want to come together in harmony. We don't want to build in relationship. So everything, what is natural has become so much so artificial. And what is so much so artificial that we were the whole of the humankind are giving so much of an importance to the artificiality. And I tell you again the hardest of the hardest truth that with the introduction of robotics and with the introduction of artificial intelligence, we are so much so carried away by the machine learning, machine experience, and so much so the cult, the overall cult has become so much so materialistic. And this new cult is not something, directly connecting with the human experience as human experience. But then we are the whole of the human cult is slowly negotiating ourselves with the new cult of materialism. So time has come that a forum of this particular nature is very, very essential. And we are in the modern way, going so much so wild by the way of science and technological advancement. One information I would like to give over here, one example I would like to give over here with reference to the understanding of the science and technological observation is that with the introduction of genetic engineering, there is a huge claim that is happening in the society. The claim is that that if you are born with a natural brain, why is that no, you have to die with the natural brain? You have science, you have technology, and with the introduction of genetic engineering, it is stated that you can have a small chip over here with the natural brain, and you can become supercomputers, super brains. So and that is how the today's society is going across, and all the global forums were promoting lot of boundaries. No boundaries earlier had become so much so close boundaries today, and the context has become so much so severe that we fear looking into one other humanity. The hardest of the hardest truth is that one individual do not want to experience the humanness of the other human experience or the other human's existence. And such is how we are. One human is slowly distancing himself or herself from one individual to the other. So time has come that this web seminar, very, very important. Even Father Ruby would not have thought about having a web seminar like this. Rather, if in a normal context, he would have called for world people under one forum in a physical interaction. But what happened today? Even Father Ruby, sir, no, he wanted to promote a great ideology, but the context is machine, and now see the all intervention happens through machines. I'm not against machine learning, but there are limitations with the machine learning. But then what happens today is that we are overwhelmed by the machine learning experience, and time has come that once you give governance to the machine learning, there will be always a standpoint where are the human intelligence, the reality of the human intelligence will be questioned. So time has come, ladies and gentlemen, and the members available in the forum, that we have to have a gauge over by which how we are into a society, how we have to be negotiating with our own culture, negating with our own fellow beings, our culture, our tradition, our belief system, our perception, our inspiration, or whatever that is accountable for a closeness of a well-being of the human understanding at large. So time has come. Over and again, I would say, if it is happening in the other industry, it's fine. But when it is happening in the academic forum, where with the introduction of the new education policy, of introducing 4.0 and 5.0, where even in the curriculum, the human understanding is being given less prominence, where the new education policy advocates the introduction of technological intervention in a larger way than the human intelligence. Time has come that the members of the learned forum, the members of the religious forum, they are also accountable to the betterment of the society by way of any forum of nature, whether he is learning or unlearned or whatever might be. So time has come that we have to look in for how far we all are becoming unreal, and we are giving so much so accountable to the unreal. Time has come that this webinar, where the webinar talks about or wanted to highlight love, harmony, peace, bring in the culture, bring in the tradition that we were being having it out down ages, which is so much so richness when compared to the other global understanding. So Robin and bring in all that is so much so good goodie for the human intelligence. And I think like Swamiji had said, from the point of view of Swami Vivekananda and Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, that all religious forum, I'm not I would claim I'm not religious or I'm not irreligious, but then I'm a balancing person who would work on principles related to the religion and the irreligious ideas. But then I think, I'm hopeful that Father Robbie sir, will be looking in for religious perspectives that which we were holding so much of relevance and importance, in harmonizing the whole of the global humanity for bettering oneself with the other self. I think time has come that no, we have to deliberate and negotiate and debate on all these issues, which Father Robbie had made his observation in his objectives in the web series seminar, and I think it's not my keynote address, but then from the point of view of the academician, when the pandemic context, the materialistic society, how we are distancing ourselves from one humanity, one human with the other human, and we are all living an unrealistic life. I think this forum is gonna educate each and every participant who are here witnessing the experience of the ideological presentation by different religious members. You take it from the forum of highly ideological personalities and take this message to the other worlds across. And I'm very positive that Father Ruby sir's initiative will become a great ideology. Maybe this might be a very small forum that he had opened today, but I'm very sure and I'm very positive that it would reach very larger audience in the as soon as this web series gets over. So I wish Father Roby sir and all the members that this initiative has to come live, practical in a many sense possible, because the need of the hour, he had addressed the need of the hour in a very serious terms, and we have to look into these things very serious, because we are going away and away and away from our rich tradition, rich culture, rich belief system, and we are so much so lame to this new culture, which is not gonna make a human in any way sense possible. So I thank Father Ruby sir, though I'm given me
Thank you, sir.
given
Thank you so
a
much.
small time. I thought no, I have to speak on all these issues, and I know for sure when I read through the objectives, it is very, very clear. And the phenomena of ideology, which that you want to promote, it's huge and complex. It can go on a lengthy way of discussion and dialogue. Such is the way you have processed this whole of the web seminar, and I'm really thankful for having given me an opportunity on this lovely forum. Thank you, and thank you so much, Father Ruby sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nagaraj sir. It is really a blessing and it is really amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sharon.
Thank you, Dr. Nagaraj, for your observation and valuable inputs on this webinar and on the whole, the current scenario and the importance of interfaith harmony. I would rather say expertise exemplified. I'm sure we would all agree to the fact of listening to a wonderful lecture with practical fact was very nice. Thank you, Professor. Now, we are coming to the main part of the webinar, to the panel discussion by our young minds. I now take this opportunity to introduce the moderator of the panel discussion, Dr. S.V. Kartiga, Assistant Professor, Department of English, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. She is a research supervisor and she has earned a doctoral degree by researching on music and English language from Bharatiyar University. She has made herself prominent in her chosen area of specialization in English language teaching, tribal studies, and gender studies. She has served as a resource person for various seminars, conferences, and webinars. To add another feather to her cap, her book of poems titled The Sangaria is on its way for its readers. With a passion for poetry, she has authored this book and it will soon be launched in a week's time, which talks about the menstrual life of women, the entire collection of poems. Let me also take pleasure in introducing our young panelists for the evening, Mr. Sharda Raman, Ms. Tinsa Juby Matthew, Ms. Pavitra G, Ms. Graciana Catherine S, Ms. Priyadarshini K. So these 5 young minds are from the Department of English, College of Science and Humanities, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. They are a bunch of young minds who love promoting peace and harmony. Even during the class discussions, they actively involve in such dialoguing. So it is a real pleasure in having you all for this webinar. Over to the moderator, Dr. S.V. Kartiga.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sharon, for that nice introduction. And Father Robbie and Chavra Cultural Center, Delhi, for making this event happen. And distinguished members, students, and for the people from different parts of the globe. I am glad to share this platform with Professor Nagaraj, my mentor, and a person who kept faith on me and my research during the challenging times. Hello, sir. And yes, it's impressive. Concept of love, truth, justice, equality, and fraternity in Hinduism. To start with the quote of Swami Vivekananda, I am a Hindu. I am proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. We believe not only in universal toleration, but we accept all religions as true. And when talking about acceptance, it is possible only through the hearts of love and justice, which in turn encourage equality and fraternity. Once a great mind, Radhanath Swami, said the essence of Hinduism is the same essence of all true religion: bhakti or pure love for God and genuine compassion for all beings. So, carrying a remarkable legacy, it is wonderful to be here with my team. I invite Mr. Sharada Raman to present his views. Over to Sharada Raman.
Hello, good evening, everyone, and the dignitaries, my friends, my professors, my friends. I'm going to talk about the first concept about the truth, which is relative to Hinduism. It is aspect characteristics, which is the existence of morals, of philosophy, and of law, and it is based on the purity. And what is the purpose of it? It is to overcome the impurities when we do not commit sin. And it is at most important not to lie to yourself, but it's rather than to speak out what it is important. You don't feel burdened about when you speak the truth. It is only the danger when we hide something in our heart, because there's a person within you. There's God. Truth is based on clarity, think, brilliance, and most things you need to detach away from falsehood and free from the delusion. It is by what you need to meet the reality. You need to develop the wisdom, knowledge, and the important thing is you need to practice. You need to practice the truth. It is not theoretically said. And also, it is moral. It is established by creating a discipline, and you can attain liberation. And I'm just going to give a gift of the word from a dialogue from the Akbar and Birbal, Chor ki dadi mein tinka, which is a very famous in the story of Akbar and Birbal, which means that a speckle in the beard of a thief, which means what a guilty conscience pricks the mind. What I said in the previously, it is not wise to lie to yourself. Rather than you need to speak out the truth and spill out the beans, no matter how hard it is. You should be able to speak to it in a simple manner, so that you be free from the burden. Your heart will not burden you so much, based on when you lie so much to yourself. And I like to finish the quote by saying, truth is always simple to practice, and the highest of living is truth. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Sharada Raman. There is no God higher than truth. Next, I invite Miss Tinsa to convey her ideas. Over to Tinsa.
Namaskar. Thank you, dignitaries. Thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to speak. I'll be taking the topic truth in Hinduism. Hinduism, when the topic word truth itself, we will be asking ourselves a question which I have in my own mind. What is truth? What exactly is truth? Is it hidden from what is hidden from our world is known as truth, which comes out light? Is it that truth? Or is it something else? Or is it more than it? Mahatma Gandhi once said, "My uniform experience has convinced me that there is no other God than truth." In Hinduism, the scriptures have very well explained about it. Each God represents each truth. And the truth is divinity itself. Brahma is truth personified. Devotees worship Lord Vishnu as Satya Narayana, the Lord of Truth. Shiva is pure, free from impurities or egoism, attachments, and delusion. Hence, he is a true being and entirely pure, Sadashiva. Brahma is a creative power, arises from the purity of his consciousness, chastity, and austerity. Hence, Prasanna Upanishad declares that truth is established in Brahma beside austerity and chastity. In Sanskrit, Satya is a translated word as for truth. In yoga, Satya is one of the 5 yamas, the virtues restraint from falsehood and distortion of reality in one's expression and action. Truth itself is hidden within us. We can accept any falsehood or false reality like we have today. What we see in social media sometimes are false, but we accept as it is the truth. But it's not the truth. What we see or hear may not be the truth. Then what exactly is truth? In the epic of Mahabharata, aids in emancipating people from various difficulties in life. The knowledge which imparted to Arjuna through Krishna's words remains applicable in our daily lives. Bhagavad Gita is one of our greatest scriptures we all know in Hinduism, and which is also what I know. And Bhagavad Gita, we all know it communicates knowledge on a wide variety or range of subjects like truth, love, marriage, karma, life and death, and so forth. Hence, Lord Krishna talks about absolute truth, which refers to reality which doesn't change over time. Absolute means all other truths are related to it or depend on it. When we talk about God or Krishna, we are talking about the absolute truth. The absolute truth is source of everything and it ultimately cause of all causes. In Sanskrit is also called Satyam Pranam, the highest truth, the supreme truth that can be perceived in 3 features as Brahman all-pervading, impersonal oneness and Pramanatma, the manifestation of God within the heart of every being. Simply saying every being has a truth within us, not just any being. With truth is within us. Nobody can take away that. And or there are many people are such that persons. Mahatma Gandhi ji, Mother Teresa, Swami Vivekananda, all believed in themselves and the truth they believed, what they left to them throughout their life. In the beginning, absolute appears impersonal. With more advancement, the supreme is perceived within one's own heart and heart of others. The highest realization is to see supreme truth is the supreme person who is complete in wealth, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. The Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and other Vedic literature identify this truth. Personally or personality of Godhead as Krishna. Truth is a universal topic that we all seek to know and understand, whether it is knowing the truth or speaking. And I all like to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Tinsa. Truth with life is the key to eternal youth. And yes, next I invite Ms. Pavitra to put across her ideas. Over to Pavitra.
Good evening, all. Hinduism, a major world religion originating on the Indian subcontinent and compromises several and varied systems of philosophy, belief, and ritual. This concept of justice is linked to the principle of karma and ahimsa. Action in this life will directly affect experiences in future existence. Bad or negative actions will lead to karmic debt. Do not do another what you do not like to be done to yourself. That is the gist of the law. All over other laws are variable. A quote taken from Mahabharata. The purpose of Hindu's life is to achieve 4 aims called Purusarthas. These are Dharma, Kama, Artha, and Moksha. These provides Hindus with opportunities to act morally and ethically to lead a good life. Hinduism teaches all people are equal. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said, I would look upon creatures equally. It is taken from Bhagavad Gita on chapter 9. And this means that it doesn't matter if it is an insect, animal, or a human, you can always be treated equally. There is idea of men and women should treat each other come from the deities such as Lord Rama and Sita and Lord Krishna and Radha. I would like to conclude this. Hinduism teaches that all people are equal in the spiritual realm. The other plants, other species, human, and all are part of the ever-changing life aspects. Thank you.
Yes, equity signifies equality. So thank you, Pavitra. And next, I invite Ms. Graciana to present her views. Over to Gracie.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Graciana Catherine. Let me begin with a quote. Religion is the clearest telescope through which we can behold the beauties of creation. So every religious faith that exists is entwined with people's belief and culture. Most of the preachings of a religion becomes an integral part of the life of its followers. Hinduism is a very unique religion. Religions are generally identified by their founders, normally as single, exclusive personalities, a single scripture. But when it comes to Hinduism, there is no such founder or a historical period of birth. No single person can be regarded as its founder. So it has evolved from a blend of divine revelations received by many pious sages called the Rishis, and they were compiled in the form of Vedas. So these teachings in Vedas and Upanishads are not just meant for people who follow Hinduism, but it is meant for all humanity. These Vedas talk about truth, justice, equality, fraternity, and love. So there is this saying from Upanishad, Satyameva Jayate Nantram, which means truth alone wins, not falsehood. Or the saying from Hitopadesha, Vasudhaiva Kutumpagam, which means the whole world is one family. There can never be an exclusive monopoly of one religion or civilization are relevant to a given period only. These Vedas and Upanishads, they contain eternal and universal truths. Religious scriptures and mythological incidents are itself an evidence for the propagation of love, truth, justice, equality, and fraternity. Truth is God and truth alone exists, nothing else. Falsehood cannot survive. These words are by Gandhiji. He explains that Satyam is derived from the word Sat, which exists, which means Asat, unreal, that cannot exist. This is exactly what the Bhagavad Gita says, Nasatto vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata, which means the unreal never is, the real never is not. The importance of Satyam in Hinduism might have been used to define Hinduism as relentless pursuit of truth. Pursuit of truth requires freedom of thought, which Hinduism granted to its followers abundantly. So now I want to talk about the aspect of love in Hinduism. There are very interesting stories and origins of love in Hinduism. One story has it that there used to be a super being known as Purusha, who had no desire, craving, fear, or any impulse to do anything, as the created universe was already perfect and complete. Then Lord Brahma, the creator, he took things upon his hands and split Purusha into two. the sky separated from the earth, the darkness separated from the life separated from death, and then male separated from female. Each of the halves then went on a quench to satisfy itself by reuniting with its other half. So when I say about male and female love, we might get the question of, does Hinduism only talks about heterosexual love? No, there are actually evidences of homosexuality in Hinduism as well. There are even carvings in temples that depicts both men and women indulging in homosexual acts. As either male or female on this earth, we are seeking our other half too, and this search is known to be love. Today, we are completely indulged in the romantic and sexual elements. There are so many definitions when it comes to love, but not until today I realized that there was such a beautiful meaning to love in Hinduism. Hinduism promotes equality with the third gender as well. Third gender people were seen as having divine powers in Hinduism. The concept of karma works as a cause and effect relationship. The justice and truth in one's action can be verified through their karma. The Hindu mythologies, Ramayana and Mahabharata, are examples for the preachings of principles of love, truth, justice, equality, and fraternity. By following these values, not only individuals, but the society and even the world at large can gain happiness. Without these values, life would not be worth living. Life depends on mutual trust in society and harmony between communities, and life would be completely meaningless and even becomes a violent struggle if we don't follow these values. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Yes, I remember this now. If you want to become fearless, choose love. Thank you, Gracie. Finally, I invite Ms. Priyadarshini to convey her ideas. Over to Priyadarshini.
Thank you, ma'am. Respected dignitaries, professors, friends, and my co-panelists, a very good evening to one and all present here. So before getting into the concept of love, truth, justice, equality, and fraternity in Hinduism, I would like to just put an umbrella term for all these concepts into one, which is Sannat Sujayukta, which is also known as a wisdom in the Mahabharata. And it is one of the most important episodes. Again, it talks about the concept of love, truth, justice, equality, and fraternity in Hinduism. So let's get into the concepts. The first concept is love. So love is classified into two, namely worldly love and spiritual love. Worldly love. So according to Hindu mythology, it's selfless dedication as seen in Ramayana. Love is equality between partners as seen in Ardhanarishwar in form of Lord Shiva and Parvati. Love is respecting your partner in all their decisions. In terms of spiritual love, love in Hinduism is sacrament. It preaches that one gives up selfishness in love, not expecting anything in return. It also believes God is love. Coming into the concept of truth, the eternal truth in Hinduism is explained in Taittiriya Upanishad. So it states that realizing the supreme Brahman is the highest God, attainable, and this requires tremendous effort, which is said as sadhana. As a preparatory step, realizing the nature of individual soul, which is Atma, and it's reconnected, and these both are a bit subtle. And now coming into the topic of Jivatma, it has to be transcend, and it sort of gives an eternal truth through direct intuition. And to the concept of justice, equality, and fraternity, again, I combine all these together and I'll name it as social justice. So social justice is a way of life with liberty, equality, and fraternity as the principle of life. So in other words, removal of inequalities in status, income, and or by the rule of law is the only way to achieve social justice. So the concept of justice, equality, and fraternity is orchestrated in Mahabharata, and it's very much enshrined in the Constitution of India to achieve the social justice. And we also know the well concept of equality of opportunities received a wider meaning viewed in the background of social justice, thus by implying equal opportunities for all without discrimination, obstacles, and disabilities of any kind, unequal capacities, which are consequences of social and economic inequalities that should be impeded or which should be prevented, which are sort of preventing people from availing the opportunities of their well-being. So in terms of fraternity, I would like to say that there's a term, Vasudeva Kudumbagam, which is stated by Graciana Catherine. So it is a Sanskrit phrase which is found in the Hindu text from such as Maha Upanishad. which states that world as one family. So what does it say? It advises people around the globe that everybody is one. We have to like treat irrespective of the man-made barriers and borders, everybody is one. So fraternity is again brotherhood. Also, we can give one example, that is in World Economic Forum, Professor Klaus Schwab also stated about Vasudeva Kudambakam. So I would like to conclude by saying it is evident that in Itihasa, Vedas, and Upanishads, Hinduism, all these values are upheld very much. Very much, it's all equal. So I would like to thank everybody who gave this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Priyadarshini. We all are different. Justice, equality, and fairness, this is what unites us. So Hinduism teaches that the divine is equally present in all, because all beings are connected through the shared divine presence. Prejudice and discrimination against anyone who violates the most profound and fundamental teaching and the moral duties of selflessness, non-injury, and truth evoked by it. So, for this incontrovertible truth, it is that Hinduism must be one of the very few religions in the world that both in philosophy and mythology accord a status of absolute equality to women. Shiva and Shakti are complementary to the point that they are impossible to differentiate. So, equal in every respect. The greetings go by Sita Ram and Radhe Krishna. So, embracing the equal status of man and women upon earth. So, all the epics are filled with the teachings about the importance of maintaining justice and the effect of imbalance. So Rig Veda precisely quotes, "There is none high or low among you. You all breathe and therefore strive all together to attain prosperity." And therefore clearly forecast that Hinduism as a religion itself evolves with a motive embracing life upon earth without setting bias, which makes it stand out for its inviolable philosophy. Thank you.
Thank you, dear panelists. We at Chavra Cultural Center, Delhi are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and experiences in this forum. A special thanks to Dr. Kartiga.
Dr. Kartiga is so excellent, and all the panelists really, really rocking. It's wonderful.
Thank you, Father.
Yes, very good. Well done, well done. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you. The entire team was brilliant team.
Thank you so much, Father.
Okay, very good.
So before we open the forum for discussion, I would like to make an announcement that a link would be posted in the chat box for the participants to receive your certificates. A link will be posted in the chat box. Please make sure that you fill in the Google form so that you all can receive your participation certificate for this webinar. So please make a note, the link has been posted in the chat box. Kindly fill in the Google form. Those of you who wish to get a participation certificate, make sure you fill in this link that is shared in the chat box. Now, the floor is open for discussion. So participants and audience, you are most welcome to come forward and give your feedback, or if there are any questions that you would like to ask the panelists, please feel free to unmute and speak.
It should not be a long deliberation. It should be short, okay? Since we are short of time.
The floor is open for discussion.
If anybody from anywhere.
Good evening.
Yeah, very good evening.
Sir, I want to know that God is real or imagination. If we imagine, sir, what? Please answer this.
Anyone can answer.
The person who questioned, very great question. I mean, it's very hypothetical indeed. But I would say that it's up to an individual. I feel there is always a super force which protect all of us. It doesn't mean like there doesn't exist something. There does exist something. There's a superpower which protect all individuals in the world, not only human beings but also things, plants, animals. So I think there's a superpower, and that is God.
Thank you.
Anybody?
Since there are no more questions, I think let us not further delay the program. We will now go over to the vote of thanks. So before entering into the vote of thanks, I would again like to remind.
I have not a.
Yeah,
Yes,
Father.
Father.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you see me? No, I don't know.
No. Your video is not visible, it seems.
I'm Father Nishant.
Yeah, Father.
I thought two Mahavakyas from the Upanishad nobody mentioned. Isha Vasam Idam Sarvam. The divine, the sacred dwells in everything. Start my video 1 second. Can you see me? Yeah. So Isha Vasam Idam Sarvam is something beautiful. The sacred permeates everything, every cell of every being. That's something beautiful I appreciate in Hinduism. Aham Brahmasi. So these are very wonderful Mahavakyas, which I think as an Indian, I appreciate. You may call it Sanatana Dharma or whatever Dharma, but these are very deep words of wisdom, which I think everyone can be appreciative of. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much. And Father Tommy Nishant is the principal of St. Xavier's College, Patna. And he has his own interreligious fraternity in the college. And he is a well-known speaker and motivator of thousands of people. Thank you, Father. Thank you so much for bringing your people or students also to this webinar.
I also want to appreciate the panelists, all young, mostly girls, only one boy I saw. Others are all girls. And that's beautiful that, you're
One is enough. One is enough.
Pardon me? They are all from the same college, SRM University, or?
Yes, Father. They're all from the English Department, College of Science and Humanities, SRM Institute, Chennai.
And I'm pleasantly surprised that they did research and they were able to speak on truth and justice and many other things on love. And that's something wonderful. I appreciate that. That's the part I enjoyed most in this seminar, in this webinar so far.
Thank you,
Thank you, Father. Thank you.
That's wonderful. It's okay. Yeah. Anybody else? And tomorrow we are having this kind of perspectives from Judaism. And as I have told you, tomorrow we have a special guest from Israel, Jerusalem, Dr. Shalom Alon, and another Jew from different other part of the world. And we have a few more friends. And so anybody can prepare a note on Judaism and present tomorrow also. Any other colleges, if they are willing to do that. And each day we are assigned to a particular religion, and we will announce that later. So once again, thank you so much. If anybody else, if anybody is not there, Sharon, please.
Yes, I take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. First of all, we give all thanks to God Almighty for enabling us to conduct this webinar. No event could be successful without acknowledging the people who decided to contribute their time and energy. So I take this opportunity to thank all the participants who have been actively listening. We have almost more than 250 participants on Zoom, and I think even many of them joined us on YouTube Live. So thank you so much for joining us. And at this point, I would like to thank His Excellency Bishop Brian Fayewell for sending us the benedictory address, and Swami Sadasivananda for giving us the inaugural address, Dr. P. Nagaraj for giving the keynote address, and Dr. S.V. Kartiga for moderating the panel discussion, and our young, vibrant team of panelists from SRM University. Thank you so much for contributing your time and energy for making this forum a successful one. So I hope that we will have all your presence in our forthcoming events. This entire week, we have scheduled a webinar every day for 1 hour. So I hope that all of you would actively take part, and no event could be successful without acknowledging the people. That is our technical team behind this entire program. So I give my vote of thanks to Dr. Robbie Kanajara for having organized this wonderful webinar session. He has been planning for this for many days, and he has finally made this event live so that many students from all over the globe could, benefit out of this. And we have many young people coming together in peace and harmony. So we thank our technical team and all the other dignitaries. We had many principals and professors and other people from all over the globe joining us and attending this webinar. So we extend our heartfelt thanks to each and everyone who has made this webinar a success. Thank you so much. May I now request all of you to kindly rise up for the national anthem.
My dear friends, once again, I sincerely appreciate and thank you all for participating in this webinar. And let me once again thank you all from Bristol Multi-Faith Forum, UK, St. Stephen's College, Delhi, G. St. Mary College, Delhi, St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, Sayadad College, Tayavara, Kerala, Providence Women's College, Calicut, Kerala, Christ College of Science and Management, Malur, Bangalore, and Vimala College, Trichur, Kerala. And all the participants, once again, for the panelists, thank you so much. And tomorrow, please bring your friends also. So we will be really enriched by mutual support. And it's wonderful to do this. Thank you so much, Tomji. Thank you so much. And Ramachandran sir, thank you. And Kartiga ma'am, thank you so much. Nagaraj sir, once again, thank you so much for your wonderful speech. It is really amazing, Nagaraj. Thank you, sir. He is my guru too. He is my guru too. And now it's an open forum. Thank you so much, Maharaj. That's my guru. And I really appreciate it. And it was wonderful. And please, yeah, Ramachandran sir, thank you so much. And tomorrow, I appreciate if you bring your
Thank
friends.
you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. And shall we wind up now? Okay. Thank you so much. Sir. I think some of the participants find it difficult to register in Google Form. Anyway, tomorrow we will find it out what's the problem and we'll settle it. So Alina will find it out. Thank you, Alina. We'll resolve the problems tomorrow. And listen, yeah.